Welcome to today's webinar, Attracting a Committed Clientele. If you're struggling to attract clients who are committed to coming in regularly and using your recommendations, this webinar is for you. In this 1-hour session, we will go over how to boost your confidence, how to communicate effectively, and develop a client management plan that ensures long-term success. I'd like to introduce you to Ms. Pamela Springer. And Pam, will you go to the next slide, please? She is both a licensed esthetician and instructor, certified laser technician, and author. She is a highly sought-after professional speaker for aesthetics conferences and trade shows as an expert in ethnic skincare solutions. She also owns the company Global Skin Solutions. Her career spans more than 25 years and includes product formulation and manufacturing, school ownership, and as a continuing education provider. When I think about Miss Pamela, I think about all of her contributions to the industry and what a wonderful person she is, both inside and out. She is truly beautiful. It is my honor to introduce you to her, and hopefully you get some good takeaways from this industry luminary and leader. Pamela, the floor is yours.
Well, Lauren, I want to know who you're talking about. I mean, such nice accolades. Thank you so very much. Today is really exciting for me because, as you know, I haven't presented in a while. And to come back to my beginnings with you is very, exciting for me. So thank you so much for having me. And I just want to give a little of my background and why I felt it was so important to actually have this webinar on committed clientele. Like I said, and it said in my bio, I've been doing this for over 25 years. I started in 1995 after I graduated from aesthetic school. And I quickly went and rented a room in a very busy salon. It was a full-service salon, and I was the only esthetician. And with all of the traffic and all of the, hairstylists and nail techs, I think there was 3 nail techs and about 5 or 6 hairstylists, you would think that it would be very easy to get a clientele going. I started out giving free facials, and nobody ever rebooked, which really did a number to my confidence level because I thought I was pretty doggone good, but I couldn't even sell them a product. So it was basically, it took me a long time to establish a clientele, but I had to think outside of the box. So I did things like I would print up like 25 gift certificates, and I would go around to the local businesses like the cleaners and even my telephone man. I would give them these certificates that they would hand out to their clients. Well, because it said $25 on the quote-unquote gift certificate, they more likely, came in to see me because they thought it was such a great gift from whoever that business owner was. And this is how I really started, getting my clients. And then I started working with organizations and being a keynote speaker or a speaker at some of their meetings or what have you. So it was really kind of grassroots, with me getting out there and really trying to get my feet planted in having, committed clientele. Well, let's fast forward. Today is totally different. Everything is all about your technology. So what is it really going to do when it comes to, getting and keeping a clientele? A lot of people use Groupons, but I honestly feel they don't use it in the right way, and this is why they don't have the clients coming back. And we'll talk about that a little bit. So I just want to give you some tips because when I graduated from aesthetic school in 1995, there are only 500 estheticians in the whole state. So, you know, like I said, life was a lot easier, a lot different, even though I still had to roll up my sleeve to get that client. But, and I had to perform to keep that client. And let me give you the side note. I ended up renting out the room in 1990. It was probably 1995. Let's say I graduated in May, and I think I opened up my little room a few months after that. But 3 years later, I was able to build my own skincare center and have 3 other estheticians, a natural nail tech, and a massage therapist. So it worked. Some of the things that I'm going to share with you really worked for me. And of course, I ended up leaving that to open up an aesthetic school, which I had for 15 years, and finally sold it. So now I'm kind of out there freelancing in the sense of doing a lot of, you know, educational online. All of a sudden I had this, it just went. So after a certain age, this thing happens. I don't like it because it usually happens when I don't want it to happen. But I'm giving more online classes as well as on-site classes. So this is a phenomenal industry. So let's get started. So the goal today for this webinar is really to help you understand your business model of how to attract a committed clientele. You want to learn how to invest certain education to boost your confidence, creating the correct consultations forms, as well as being able to consult with a potential client and connect with them. And lastly, developing documentation that is going to have success in managing and really understanding the client's needs when it comes to her skincare. Now, why isn't this going? Okay, so the outline today is you're not only learning more about consultation, but also skin analysis techniques that, again, you're going to hear me keep saying connect, connect, connect. That's going to successfully connect with your clients, developing programs instead of just seeing them on a monthly basis, develop programs that are long-term, and the client ends up benefiting because of the fact that whatever that skin condition was, you've worked on it and either resolved it or got it under control. We're going to talk about creating that documentation that gives you a journal so that you can always look back at the progress when you're talking to your client each time they come in. So let's talk about attracting that committed clientele. You should be considered the expert in a skincare business because you become then their trusted advisor, and advisors are always considered as an authority. So clients rely on this quote-unquote expert to give them the advice they need to on their skincare treatments, but also home care products that will benefit and enhance whatever it is, whatever a professional treatment you've given them. Remember, they're with their skin 24/7. You might see them every other week or once a month, depending on the analysis in which you've chosen to, how you've chosen to actually help that skin get to its optimum health. So now this connection to your client is going to assure you loyalty and help your brand. When you're developing your expertise, you need to begin with analyzing your business model. You cannot be everything to everybody. What is it that you love to do? What is it would you like to specialize? Where is it you feel you'll be the expert in that area? And yes, in the beginning, I wanted to do corrective skin care, but if someone came in for a body treatment, I still had to pay my rent and my mortgage and all those things that we have accumulated called quote-unquote bills. So yes, I had to do certain other treatments, even waxing and things like that. But eventually, being persistent in letting people know where my area of expertise was, my business ended up flourishing because what I wanted to do, the word got out and those clients started coming to me. The other thing that helped me a lot was I found a mentor. And Lauren just touched on that lightly, but she touched on it as a friend. I got a professional mentor. She happened to be a dermatologist who also was a associate professor in a medical school. So she taught ethnodermatology and also treatments that were not outlined in my initial training. So she taught me things that was out of the box that most estheticians didn't know. For instance, I was able to learn how to do Jesners and TCAs and your more aggressive peels in a time where everybody was just using glycolics. So the word got out, and all of a sudden, when they saw the results, I ended up even on TV. I ended up being a skin expert for 2 or 3 of the channels here, local channels that had me come on periodically to talk about certain skin conditions and all. So understanding a mentor that actually has your best interests and supports your vision, and he or she can guide you through that learning process, because success begins with investing in your career. And like they say, knowledge is power. So even taking classes and knowing your craft will boost that confidence in educating your clients and the trending treatments that is out there. Next, we'll talk about the consultation and skin analysis. Now, this is really the perfect time to get to know your client. It is important that the analysis is part of your success story, and especially for product recommendation. It helps you determine how successful you are in connecting with your clients. These few moments, which I say moments, but really I used to give at least an hour for a consultation, will give your client information to make them see you as the expert. Because really a consultation is not only about educating them, but it's also talking about the treatments and why you feel those treatments are necessary and the ingredients that are very important in the treatment plan that you may have for them. And they really get really into this, and they begin to lighten up, and now they want to ask questions, and you let them know that it may take 3, 4, 6, 8, 12 weeks to see progress. But you're educating step by step on this during this consultation. Now, if you want to understand your skin assessment or your client history evaluation, this is where you honestly have the opportunity to shine. Having a beautiful and convenient intake form that's sent immediately when the client makes an appointment creates a great impression. Now, you're saying sending them the form. How many of you hate going to the doctor's office and the receptionist gives you a form to fill out and you have to sit there and fill out 2, 3, 4 pages of information before you get to see the doctor? Well, I just hate it. I'm angry in a way, or upset, and my posture changes. And by the time I get in to see the doctor, because usually I have to wait about 15 or 20 minutes, or they ask you to come much earlier than your appointment, by then I'm kind of frustrated. So what I suggest is to create a writable intake form, and this is a form that you, after a client makes an appointment, you get their email address and you send it to them right away. Now, why do I love this form? It's because the client has the opportunity to fill it out in the comfort of their own home. There's ample time to give the client the opportunity to be more accurate, especially in listing their medications, because they can get up and go to wherever they keep their medications. Years ago, we had medicine cabinets. Newer homes now are void of that medicine cabinet. So wherever those medications are kept, they'll be able to actually accurately give you that information. And when the client sends the form back, which I always preference that they send it back 2 to 3 days before their appointment, this gives you the time to actually go over the form and already write down questions you may have, or maybe create your treatment plan. I mean, you won't know if you're going to follow that treatment plan until you have a skin analysis, but at least you know what her skincare concerns are. If she's only coming in for a spa facial, if she has a skin condition she wants you to address, all of this is going to be on your consultation form. And when the client is seen at the scheduled time, well, you're going to be very efficient. You're going to have more time to see more clients because now you don't have to wait for someone to fill out the form. I add a little note when I'm sending in that writable form, and I'll give you an example of the little note that I send. I say, our goal is to make the intake process as smooth as possible. Please fill out the attached form and return within 2 to 3 days of your appointment. We are committed to succeed in achieving your skincare goals. So now you put them at a place that they feel very comfortable. Again, remember, the operative word here is the connection that you're going to have with this individual. It's important to add the influencing factors to consider when creating an intake form: their heredity, any hormonal composition, are they post-menopause, are they pregnant? So these, are little definers for you when you actually read it to make notes. What about the environment that they live in? What's their lifestyle? Do they play tennis? Are they in the sun all the time? What is the degree of oiliness of their skin? What is the dryness of their skin? And if they have any medical complications that you need to know about, because now your treatment plan might have to change a little bit, because if they have an aspirin sensitivity, you know that you cannot use products that have salicylic as the ingredients. So again, this is a little homework for you, but in the long run, you're going to find that that client is going to feel very, very comfortable with you. So let's talk about that initial visit. The initial visit should be conducted in an adequate amount of time. And like I said previously, at least 1 hour should be scheduled. And this will give you and the client time to, here's that word again, connect. During the consultation, and once you've looked at the skin, give that client a mirror, a hand mirror, and let them now take over the conversation by showing you their skincare concerns. Okay? Now that the concerns are identified, you have the opportunity to give them the different treatment options that you have available to address those concerns. Again, this is going to really connect with your clients because they want this concern or condition addressed, but you're going to educate them on the primary cause of that condition, the secondary cause. So let me quickly let you know what I mean by that. So if they come in with dark spots or patches, the primary cause is the sun. That is what is continually making that lesion dark. So you have to address and educate them maybe on their sunscreen. Maybe they're not using a 30 SPF, or then they may need one that's higher depending on their Fitzpatrick skin type. So again, you're educating them on that. This approach, like I said, will tell you what they want if you listen very have those, you know, those ears really in tune with what they're saying. So let's talk about their actual treatment options. Let's say their concern is the sun damage, which we know is hyperpigmentation. Now, depending on the hyperpigmentation, usually something like melasma is going to be a very challenging skin condition. And the treatment that you're going to recommend really depends on where that hyperpigmentation lays within those layers of skin. Is it all in the epidermis? Is it in the dermis? Is it both epidermal and dermal hyperpigmentation? And the deeper that hyperpigmentation is, the longer the program will be. So that may be a 6 to 12 week program, and I'm using the word program because this is what I call a long-term treatment care for your clients. And when you offer this program for 6, 8, 12 weeks, I would have them pay in advance. Now, these will be customized treatments for depending on the hyperpigmentation. And let's say you just did one service and you charged $150 for that service. You would discount accordingly to the program that they selected. And whichever program is selected, they can purchase it at a program price. So let's say one treatment is $150. 6 treatments is going to be $800 because you're going to give them $100 savings. If it's an 8-week program, you're going to give them $200 in savings. 12-week program, they may save $300. Now remember, these are not 1-hour treatments. Usually corrective programs are only 15 to 20 minutes. And I'm giving you figures that I use, but I was on a high-end area. I was living in but my practice was in Scottsdale, Arizona when I was doing this. So you have to look at your demographics and find out what, you can actually charge these clients. But I will tell you, when they start getting results, they start sending you their friends, their family, and after a while, it's not about advertising, it's word of mouth. So the programs work the best for me because most people had hyperpigmentation. The other one would have been acne. That could be a 6 or 8 week program. If the person is a Fitzpatrick, a higher Fitzpatrick, it may be a little longer because you're not only trying to address the breakouts, but you have to later address the actual post-acne dark spots or post-acne spots. So again, for people to pay up front, they have to be very, very comfortable that you are the expert. And the way they know that is by the way you educate them and you outline everything. So finally, it is essential and required that if someone's on a program, they have to purchase the home care products to achieve the results. Now, what I did, I created travel kits, and for hyperpigmentation, I created travel kits for acne, rosacea. I had all these travel kits. So if they purchased a program, well, the travel kit wholesale is $17.50. For retail, it would cost them $35. But if they purchased the program, I would give it to them free as part of my gift for choosing the actual program. But now remember, the next purchase, they have to purchase that particular travel kit or the products within it, and they'll be purchasing that product retail. So again, you are actually getting them later on, because they're seeing results, to start purchasing your retail products. So again, this is crucial with this connection because you want to have a continued business relationship with these people. Okay, let's talk about the skin analysis, the examination. A thorough examination of the skin, if you're using the proper equipment, is necessary to develop a treatment plan. And before you embark on that treatment plan, you have to have a thorough knowledge of the skin anatomy and the normal wound healing if you're going to embark on doing different chemical peeling agents. So these visual assessments should be conducted whenever the client comes in for a treatment. I find that estheticians actually just do the skin analysis when they do a consultation, and they never do after. How can you know where to go if you don't have a roadmap? And the roadmap is the analysis that will tell you if you should kick it up a notch because the skin is ready for that, or should you stay where you are? Should you use an enzyme and you're getting great results? Well, there's no need to start doing chemical peels until that time that the skin is kind of not doing what you want, to kick it up a notch so that you can use a chemical peel to actually help with the products, being put on the skin and being delivered deeper into the layers of the skin. So when we talk about that visual assessment, this also gives you time to talk about what you see and show, it's a show and tell, what the difference is from the last time your client was with you. Because remember, we talked about keeping a journal. Before they come in, you read about what you actually did and what you actually accomplished in that treatment, so that now the client can remember what you had done and they can start looking for the differences, because a lot of clients, they don't think you do anything. But in a corrective program, you have to show you do something. So again, that kind of back and forth information between, or conversation between you and a client, is even very, very important when they return. So these are the visual diagnostic tools that I like to use. My mag lamp, I will use it first, and that will show me the surface of what's going on with the skin. A lot of times you can see the comedones or the dryness of the skin. Learn how to actually take your fingers and kind of open the skin up so you can see what's embedded in the pores, if anything. Pinch the skin, see how, the elasticity of that skin from the elastin. Does it have the snapback? Does it not? Because it's a very mature skin. Look and actually feel the texture of the skin, so that you may have to address those first before even starting the treatment plan. The other thing that I love is a skin scanner. That's it, top right. And this isn't like an interactive tool. I have made, I shouldn't brag, but oodles and oodles of money over the years with that one piece of equipment. Why? Because when the client looks in the skin scope, there's a mirror at the base, and some of you may have a skin analysis equipment, the skin scope. They actually see, like this picture, how deep or what's going on below the actual surface of the skin. So this client, it tells me, because I see most of the pigmented patches of melasma, is going to tell me a lot of it, I guess it's to your left and my left, but would be their right. That area is kind of fluorescent, which is kind of telling me that's in the epidermis, okay? The pigmentation to the right is much deeper and darker. So either it has spilled into the dermis, or possibly it's deeper into the layers of the epidermis. So when I speak to clients, I never tell them, oh my goodness, yeah, I can get rid of this. You love it. You always say it can be lightened considerably, because that's true, because I see so much of it in the epidermis. And I actually, when they're under the skin scope, in this area here, I actually take a picture. I just put the camera to this area and take a picture so that I can have it on file, because as the pigmentation diminishes, I can actually show a before and after picture to that client. So what is a good skin analysis? Basically, it's going to help establish the goals and the expectation. You'll be able to answer the expectations of your client. You can tell them what those goals are. It helps you with your goals, your professional or your corrective treatment, or like I said, using your professional products. You'll be able to outline your goals. And when it comes to the initial treatment, I always start with an enzyme. Enzyme is a natural exfoliant, and it will allow me to actually see, especially on higher Fitzpatrick's, it will still exfoliate, but it also will help me the next week to see what the results was from that enzyme. Do I really need to get to the chemical peel? Personally, I don't do peels unless the skin is stubborn and I can't get it to actually do what I need it to do. And that might be 3 or 4 weeks later, I'll see that I need to do something. The only time that I will use a peeling agent before 4 weeks is if they need hydration. That skin is lacking in hydration, and I'm going to use a lactic acid, hyaluronic acids, and so everything will be about hydrating that skin. If I have a client that has acne and I cannot get that acne under control in 3 or 4 weeks, I am going to use a salicylic. So there's a reason why I am using the peel, not to peel just to be peeling, okay? I am not going to do that. There's a reason that I'm going to take it to the next level. So on an initial treatment, I would never do a chemical peel. I don't know that skin. I need to know that skin, and I need to let that client know that I know her skin. I need to know her lifestyle. I give her a peel and then she goes out into the sun, and the peel naturally, she's going to get possibly, if she has sensitive skin, burning. And if the skin is of a higher Fitzpatrick, it's going to be post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation if there's any inflammation or irritation in that skin. So why would I put myself at risk? How do you know what that client did before they came to see you? How many other peels did they have before you? And maybe that one more peel is going to do damage to the skin and not actually assist the skin in getting to whatever it goes you would like for them to be at. Do not do any treatment that is outside of your comfort level or your scope of practice. We're in a litigious times, and people are so happy. And so it's better to be slower and conservative. To be honest with you, you're going to make more money because you're taking it slower. As long as that client is getting results, they're going to be very, very, very happy. Documentation, okay? Skincare intake forms. One of the things that you guys, I guess, are all over the world, because I heard UK. I'm excited about UK. I will be, I've been just asked to speak at a medical conference in London. I'm really excited. I've never been to Europe, and so the conference is in August. So I'm really excited to have that opportunity to have a reason to go to Europe. But to get back to where I was going with this, it's important for you to have consent forms. The consent form is going to outline everything that you do, and they're going to sign that they understand what that treatment is going to be. Now, I have been in a situation where somebody was trying to sue me, and I had to go in front of a judge. To protect myself, I had the experts in the field, a dermatologist. I was kind of a new esthetician, maybe 2 years into it. But anyway, I had all my documentation. It showed that she had returned her sunscreen, because she had, and I had the receipt and how I, put the money back on her credit card. Now, it's interesting because she said in her papers that the treatment had burnt her to the point her friends and families didn't recognize her. What's really interesting about that is that she didn't show up that day. So I assumed that they would throw it out of court, and instead the judge called her. And of course she said, "Oh my God, is it today?" And he asked her all these questions, and if it wasn't myself that he addressed the quote-unquote experts that I brought. Well, at the end of it, I thought he would give a ruling, but he said that they would send that ruling in the mail, and it took 6 weeks before I found out what the ruling was. But it was because of my documentation and her signature showing that she consented to my treatment, and also I had pictures to show her progress. And yes, it was a Jesner and a TCA, and she had called me because of the fact that she was shedding so much. I told her to come in so that I could give her an enzyme and possibly remove some of the skin that had shedded. And I took a picture, and I showed, the judge what her picture looked like after about 10 days from the time that I did the peel. So documentation is so, so, so important. The other thing that you should consider, I always took a photo release, a model release, and it spelled out what I would be doing with those pictures. And if they signed it, it gave me the consent to actually show those pictures in my PowerPoint presentation. I used to copy those pictures and actually put them in a photo album. And in the photo album, I would put out the reception area, because this again showed that, quote unquote, I was an expert, because I had all these before and after pictures, not only with post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, but sun damage, melasma, acne. So I had an array of corrective treatments, and they were excited about it when they came in to speak with me. And in fact, because of it, I ended up being on 3 of the local TV shows here, talking about my work, because I'm not going to get into how I promoted, but because we only have an hour, but it ended up, one of the news anchors came to me because she got a gift certificate. You remember those gift certificates I talked about? And someone had one and gave it to her, and she had never met me, but she was all excited to see my actual album of before and after pictures, and actually asked if I would be interested in, doing a spot, a 7-minute spot. Well, of course. Lucky, and I felt as though I was really lucky, she brought the camera crew to me and filmed, and I had the young lady she was interested in to come. It's so funny with acne clients. This was someone who had mousy brown hair and everything, and very, 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 very shy. And it's really funny. I called her because of the picture, but I really didn't expect her to want to be on camera. And when she came in, she was a blonde and very animated. I didn't even know who this woman was, because this isn't the person that I had been working on for so long. But anyway, she got in front of that camera and she said, if it wasn't for Pamela Springer, my skin wouldn't look like this. I've been to dermatologists. Doctors keep giving me prescription, blah, blah, blah. Well, the next day, you already know what my phone was like. It was ringing off the hook. So who knows, that could be you if you have your before and after pictures out. You never know who is looking at your work. So it allowed me to really kick it up a notch with having clients come in to see me. So always take a baseline photo. So what is a baseline photo? It's a photo that you take before you do any kind of services. So you cleanse the skin and try to always have that photo where the person is standing behind a, a light beige or not too white of a wall, but in the same place, and you take the photos, head on. Then they take it at a 45-degree angle on the right side and then the left side. And get close enough so that you can actually hone in to whatever the skin condition may be. That's your focus, not the face of your client, more or less the actual skin condition. So let's talk about the initial treatment. Most people run and they want to correct that hyperpigmentation, so they're looking for the products to do that. Your first treatment should be looking at the barrier, the acid mantle of that skin, and correcting that and making that stratum corneum healthy. Why? If that barrier needs repair, that, let's say a dry skin, the skin is dry and flaky and cracked when you look closer into your magnifying lamp, that is a skin that the bacteria, everything from the outside can get into that skin. When it comes to acneic skin, all right, that P. acneus bacterium, which is the bacteria that causes acne, it gets into the skin. Why? Because it's looking for food. And that bacteria for acne skin, they feed on all that oil, and if it's compromised, it goes into, because it's delicious inside of that follicle. You have those triglycerides that they feed on, and this is really what you need to address, that barrier. So when you establish the health of that barrier, which is the primary cause maybe of a skin condition, this is the guidelines that you should follow. Begin all treatment with an enzyme as the exfoliant. If the goal is to perform advanced exfoliating, like a chemical peel or a microdermabrasion or a dermaplaning, slowly introduce this service after the barrier function has been restored. Clients must comply with a home care preparation, because you just doing that professional treatment is not going to restore the barrier. The barrier gets restored because you're working together. It's almost like a marriage with your client. They're doing their due with the actual home care, and you're kicking it up a notch with ingredients that are more active in your professional toolbox. So I always, if they're not going to comply, I am not going to do the service. And really, you put your foot down. I find, because I had a school, I know what you estheticians, a lot of you all do. They would set up for like a lactic treatment, and I would ask them, the client isn't even here. Why are you giving, why do you want lactic acid? Well, that's what they want. What? They're not the expert of their skin. You are. So they had to actually do the skin analysis and tell me why they needed lactic. And when they did the skin analysis and educated the client forgot about the lactic. They ended up wanting that hydrating facial. They wanted that skin brightening mask, because I was able, or the student was able, to show where they needed that treatment instead of a lactic acid. The only reason they wanted the lactic acid was because their girlfriend had it, and she loved the way that her girlfriend's skin looked, and the girlfriend said, oh, I had a lactic acid. So here she comes, and that's what she asked for. So really take upon your knowledge to discourage them, even when they come in with the Groupon. I am going to discourage them for using a chemical peel, because during the analysis, we're going to come up with a program together that's going to benefit their skin. I always do an analysis. I always do, I try to get people to understand with an analogy. If you have a Groupon and you go to a hairstylist and they give you this fabulous, fabulous, fabulous haircut, do you really believe that client is going to get another Groupon and go to somebody else? So estheticians, you have to have the skills to give them that wow factor where they can't believe what their skin looks like. And a Groupon doesn't tell them how that can be achieved. Only you can. So I want you guys to understand this. This is how you cement the deal with your clients, educating them, taking the time, step by step, answering their questions. This is how you're going to seal the deal. They have to have that home care to continue the process that you began when you did your professional treatment. So again, look at that barrier first and make a decision if it needs repair. And honestly, we live in climates that 9 times out of 10, that barrier is going to be need repair. So how do we get those wild treatments? Those wild treatments are created because now you've customized those treatments for amazing results. When you add 2 or more products that complement the active ingredient, it's going to cause that skin to just glow, a natural glow. So learn how all of your products, the ingredients, how can you layer? Okay, let's say it's a compromised barrier. They come in, I am going to give them the cleansing and of course the toning, all right? I may give them then a serum, which might be vitamin C, because it's going to brighten the skin, but it's a water base. Remember, they need hydrating. Vitamin C is a water base, so I am going to add that. And then I'm going to put a mask on. It could be a collagen mask. It could be a fleece mask for skin brightening. Whatever it is that skin is asking for, I'm going to put it on. Now, if it's a cream mask, I have to take it off. If it's a fleece mask, I don't take the ingredients off. I actually massage the ingredients into the skin. Afterwards, the serum I'm going to put on is the hyaluronic acid. Remember, it attracts the water to your skin. This is a hydrating facial. So I'm adding water. But now, because it's dry, the skin needs water and oil. So what is my next step? Well, now I'm going to massage the skin. Why? Because all those active ingredients, you know, in school we were taught to tone and, you know, massage before we do serums and all of that. I'm going to tell you right now, you massage afterwards if you want to massage. Everyone doesn't get into massaging the skin, but if you are somebody who gives them a facial massage, use it at this point, because now you're locking all of those ingredients into the layers of the skin, below the surface of the skin. And yes, you remove, if you've used too much oil, you don't need that, but then you can put on a light moisturizer, a water base if you like, or an occlusive base, which is an oil base that you can massage in the skin. So if you don't do a massage, you can massage that moisturizer into the skin. And of course, we all know they need to have their sunscreen. This is what is going to give you that wow factor, because your professional ingredients should have enough active ingredients in it to actually change that skin in the epidermis. You're going to either see lightening, brightening, plumper skin, wrinkles are going to be softened. And when they see this, and you've educated them on why they need a home care product, they're going to skip out of your facility very happy, because now they have a program that is customized for their skin. So educate your clients on actually customizing their home care. It's going to increase your sales and your profit margin, right? So I can't say that you're going to be able to do all of this the very first time, because clients are kind of skeptical because everyone's trying to sell them something. I remember doing a deep pore cleansing on somebody. I gave her the mirror and she saw all the comedones and in the skin. And that treatment is only 45 minutes, so I hadn't finished removing them. But I showed her in the mirror exactly what was done, and I explained to her about using a salicylic wash and toner for those comedones. It will retard the actual, I don't want to say growth, but it retards them from actually, it cleans out that pore so that doesn't return those comedones, blackheads. And I tried to get her to buy the product. You know, I wasn't a used car salesperson, but I educated her. But she wasn't interested because she had just gone and got, was it Clarion? One of the, you know, she had been to the department store, and I said, fine. So she had to come back because only half or 3/4 of her face had been done in that 45 minutes. And when she came back, you know, of course, we don't really look at our skin the way we should. When I did the skin analysis, there were comedones everywhere again. So what did I do? I gave her the mirror and showed her. And I said, remember, the last time that you were here, we had removed these blackheads in this area. And as you can see, they're back. So it's telling me the product you're using is causing the comedones. Guess who bought everything I suggested? And again, it's how you handle it. It ends up being a show and tell. Okay, we're winding down, so let's do a little overview here. Number one, you want to become their trusted advisor. Clients are going to rely on someone who they see as an expert to give them advice on treatments and home care products. You're going to seek the help of a mentor who supports your vision and guides you through your learning experience, especially if you're new out of the gate, you just graduated. And I'm proud to say that I'm sure a lot of you know Lisa Van Brock of SkinScript. I just love her. She was my student. I was her instructor, and I ended up becoming her mentor. And she is one of the best when it comes to education. I talk about product knowledge is usually free, but her education is unbelievable. The other person I always recommend to take their course is Michael Puglisi of Circadia. These are people that know what they're talking about and will expand your business to the greatest heights beyond what you can imagine your business is to me, because you're going to feel confident when you're doing treatments. You won't have to call me or anybody else and ask for a protocol. You'll know the protocol that you need to use for that particular treatment or skin condition. The next is to give enough time to connect with your clients. Taking a few moments during the consultation can make or break an ongoing relationship. Email a writable form at least 3 days before, maybe 2 days before the appointment, because the client now has the opportunity to fill out the form in the comfort of his or her home. So now I'm ready for questions, but I'm going to let you guys know that you can upload this presentation. If you like, I've made it into an ebook, and also you can, I should say download. You'll be able to download an example of my writable skin consultation, and that's my website. Be sure when you get on the website to scroll down to the bottom so that you can download these 2 items. And if you want to know more as far as, my classes, online classes, I do one-on-one through Skype or Zoom, all of those things to help estheticians get to the next level. Just email me at info Global Skin Solutions. If you have a burning question, please give me a call at 855-290-5450. So, any questions?
Yes, we have lots of questions coming in.
I'm scared.
One comment from Margaret I wanted to share before we get really going into questions. She says that everything you said today is what I say to my aesthetic students and clients. It really made for long-term clients. Thank you for reminding us of these topics. Once we get into practice, some of us focus too much on making money rather than practicing good skincare. So kudos to you.
Well, kudos to her. She's right. She hit the nail on the head, and it's just so hard. And I have to say that, it just sometimes estheticians, when they graduate, really they think they're the experts because they got the license. They don't realize that it's the tip of the iceberg. You only had 600 hours. How can you learn chemical peels, spa facials, skin analysis, and all of that, and be really, quote unquote, the experts in those areas in 600 hours? I mean, I went to classes all the time when I got out of school. And I had the mentor that pushed me and helped me understand skin even better. So, when you have these tools, you really rock. And you will have a clientele that will stay. I mean, I am still invited to baby showers, weddings, and everything from my clients, and I don't do treatments anymore. I just educate now. So anyway, thank you to the person that shared that information.
Absolutely. Let's see. Let's take a couple questions here. You mentioned in the beginning how to use Groupon correctly. Can you explain that a little bit?
Sure. Groupon, if you are going to actually, have that person as a client, you have to work very hard because you have to show them that they need to be coming to you. And that's why the consultation is so important. Do all the steps that you would do for the client that's getting ready to pay $150. Because I like Groupon. I'm scared to say it, and thank God I'm sitting in my behind this computer because a lot of people hate it. But think about the marketing that you're getting for free. If you had to send out direct mail, it would be very costly, thousands and thousands. And Lauren, I'm sure you understand that because you all are always sending out information, and you know how much you have to spend for that. So the Groupon does it for you, and no, you're not going to be paid for your services that day. But when you give them a really good consultation and they came in with a Groupon for, let's say, chemical peel, one of the reasons there's a problem, everyone does a chemical peel. But you have to show them that their treatment needs to be customized for their skin. And the mirror helps so much because you're going to ask them, what don't you like about your skin? You're getting ready to get to their pain, the things they don't like. They're forgetting now about the chemical peel. What is it you don't like about your skin? What would you like to see happen today? And then when they tell you all their stories or whatever, well, I want to be very honest with you. I will accept this Groupon, but it's not the chemical peel. You need, and then you educate them, and then they take that service, let them pay for that service with whatever it was that they paid for the Groupon, and let them know. Most people need corrective services. No one has normal skin anymore. The environment changed that game. So this will help you get that client to see your masterpiece, your wow, and their wow skin, that they'll want that again. And if you like, if the Groupon was $50, let's say, you only get 25. So you said, because, I would like to put you on a program in the future. When you come back, I will honor the Groupon again at the $50. Well, now you're making another 25. But you need to show that you are somebody that can give her something that she needs, not what she wants. Does that make sense?
Thank you. Go ahead and write back if you have any other questions on that. We'll switch gears a little bit, talking about the skin scanners specifically. One person asked, at what point do you do the skin scanner in the treatment? She says she struggles with this because at the end of the appointment, she always puts sunscreen on her client, so the skin scope doesn't work as well. And then another question, so first part of the question is, when do you do it? And then secondly, can you recommend a skin scanner on the market that you prefer?
Okay, let's answer the first question. And the first question is, you would put them under the skin scanner before you put the sunscreen on. So I always put them on the very first treatment. They're under the skin scanner during the consultation and the skin analysis. As part of my skin analysis, they freak out because they see all the hyperpigmentation and what's going on below the skin, or they'll see little yellow or orange dots, knowing that that's where the skin has all the oil buildup or whatever. Then I give them the treatment. Now this is the first treatment. And then after I finish the treatment, before the sunscreen or anything else, if you do a vitamin A, you won't be able to see either. So before I do all of that, I put them back under the skin scanner, and lo and behold, guess what? They're amazed because they see in one treatment that some of their spots or whatever have faded, or their pores are clean. And so that's how I do it. Now, as far as the skin scanner, that is something my company has researched, and we do give you information and a discount for all licensed estheticians. So if you're really interested, you can email me and we can talk about that. And I can tell you to invest in your business. You're going to see skin scanners for $200 and $300 or whatever, sure, but where do you send them when they break? You have to get with a reputable person or business that sells this, that is going to give you a warranty, and also you can send it someplace within the United States to get it fixed and returned to you. All your equipment, I used to always tell my students that, all your equipment, find out what the warranty is, and if anything breaks, where would you send it? If they say, well, you have to send it back to China, well, you might as well know that you've wasted your money, because now you have to buy a new piece of equipment. So you've spent more than the initial outlay.
Okay, good. Can you go into more detail regarding heredity in considering influencing factors?
Okay. We all know we have the Fitzpatrick scale. I like using the Lancer scale, but I'm going to call it, because most of you know the Fitzpatrick, any higher Fitzpatrick, and I say from 3 all the way to 6. Most people say 4 to 6. I add 3 because an Italian and a Greek and someone from the Mediterranean, they're ethnic. Because if they tan, now I shouldn't say, the northern Italians are much fairer than the southern Italians. They're much darker. They have pigment in their skin that is going to either hyperpigment easily, or they're going to tan easily, but they're going to be the ones with the dark patches and dark spots or post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. So you need to find out their ethnic background, their DNA, all right? Now, I'm a mutt, okay? A lot of people are mutt, but they don't know what they're mixed with. So I am African, but I'm also Native American, I'm also Irish, and I'm also Jewish. So with that mix, I burn in the sun, and that's the Irish in me. People of color, you can Google this, get rosacea, and it's all because of their heredity and their, basic makeup. Most people of color that have rosacea, they're always misdiagnosed. Why? Because in school we were taught that it's only the Northern Europeans that get rosacea. But start Googling and do your research and Google rosacea people of color. The rosacea.org has a very great article on people of color and rosacea. So again, just kind of not let everyone tell you what to do. Follow up. Even what I'm talking to you about today, you can Google and find out if I am quote unquote in the expert in my area of expertise. So.
Great, thank you so much. I think that we'll go ahead and wrap up today. We don't want to take up too much more of your time or everyone else attending too. But thank you so much for your time today, Ms. Pamela. I enjoyed it tremendously, and I hope that everyone else did as well. Again, if you have any questions or you want to follow up with her, you certainly can and are encouraged. And on behalf of everybody at ASCP, we want to thank you for taking time out of your day to be with us, and we look forward to seeing you on the next webinar. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you.